afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Today I'm going to be delivering my presentation for my Management 4300 class. So what is the most powerful, one of the most powerful online retailers in the industry? Amazon. So in 2017, Amazon announced that it would buy Whole Foods. Why would Amazon buy Whole Foods? Well, Amazon is kind of getting into all kind of industries by offering these products on their website. They offer food, clothes, auto parts, baby items, everything. So they're considered an octopus in the industry since they branch out into all these different industries. So for years, Amazon tried to penetrate the grocery industry. They launched Amazon Fresh it wasn't completely unsuccessful, but it wasn't as successful as they wanted it to be. So, the state of the grocery industry. If you notice, in the past few years, several companies closed down. Winn-Dixie, Super One, some Walmart's closed a bunch of stores. Kroger's closed a bunch of stores. And in 2017, it was a $675 billion industry. It's one of the biggest industries because everyone needs groceries. However, in that same year, there was a $3 billion decline compared to 2016. And that's a big decline in sales in any given industry. Some of the retailers filed for bankruptcy. There are pretty much little to no Winn-Dixies in Louisiana today because of this. So, why was the grocery industry declining? Anybody have an idea? What could have caused?
Fast food, getting more fast food. More fast food places are popping up everywhere.
Anyone besides Mr. Malvo? So, the $3 billion decline, do you think it disappeared? Did it go anywhere? Did people lose money? No. The dollar shifted. So with the big organic push, people want more items that doesn't contain preservatives, no gluten. They want their meals already prepped. The meal kits was really popular. And Amazon tried to get into it, but they don't have a brick and mortar. So it's hard to store cold items and ship it. So this is where buying Whole Foods came into place. And Whole Foods was the choice because Whole Foods had been through some things. In the past 3 years, they changed management. They went through a incline of sales. Like, they fluctuated. Some months sales were super good. Some months sales weren't so good. And it was questionable. And there was one major shareholder that made a push for Whole Foods to sell. So the CEO of Whole Foods contacted Jeff Bezos, the CEO, founder, and majority shareholder of Amazon. And it was good for both parties, because Amazon was in a better position to cut costs. So Whole Foods has this reputation of being the whole check store because their prices are so high compared to Walmart and Target. So Amazon is really good at providing low cost items to its customers. For this deal to be successful, there are several things that the management of Amazon had to consider. Porter's 5 forces includes the forces of entry, which if entry is easy, profits cannot be sustained. But for this merger, the barrier to entry was high due to the scale. Because it's a big industry, it's hard to get into it and be successful as a newcomer. The power of suppliers and the power of buyers is similar. Amazon is an everything store. The power of suppliers and buyers are comparable. Suppliers want their product in the store, and it makes it hard for buyers to find substitutes. So if I can go into Walmart and there's a grocery and there's general merchandise, I don't need to go to Super One where there's mostly only grocery, majority grocery. Rivalry was a big key player because Walmart and Target are the biggest key players. And right now it's hard to compete with them because their costs are low. Whole Foods at this time is still one of the highest priced places to shop, which is why they're in like upscale neighborhoods. If you notice here, Whole Foods is on the south side near River Ranch because they have the money to afford Whole Foods prices. So this deal, let's look at the numbers. Amazon bought Whole Foods for $13.7 billion. It was one of Amazon's biggest purchases in history. $9 billion of the 13.7 was goodwill. This means that 13.7 minus 9, only almost 4 billion was the worth of Whole Foods. So they paid 9 billion just cause. So in excess of the actual net worth. So the winners in this deal would be Whole Foods, right? The shareholders saw an increase. People bought into the same night the deal was announced. People bought into the shares of the Amazon and Whole Foods, and because Jeff Bezos paid this large amount of money, majority of it was split between the shareholders. They got a percentage. So the smallest shareholder of Whole Foods made over $2 million that night. And the losers. So who do you think the losers were? Walmart, Target, Kroger's, all of them. They lost. They saw from a 5% to a 27% drop in the price of their stock. And many people pulled out, sold their shares, traded shares. Walmart, for one, the day before, Walmart stocks traded at between $30 and $36 that day. The next day they saw their stocks were only like $15. So that was almost half.
Yeah, that's a lot.
The success of the merger. So at the time that I did my research, it's still uncertain that it's successful. Amazon is consistently lowering Whole Foods prices. April 1st was the most recent, but there really haven't been major transformations in the grocery industry. At the time of the announcement, a lot of local grocers like Bruce Mart, they're only locally, they dropped their prices immediately after to be able to compete. So if they drop their prices immediately and Whole Foods is already high, I'm still not gonna go to Whole Foods even after this. And looking at Jeff Bezos' history, he's one of the smartest men in the American business industry. He's been able to profit in a lot of industries. And it's only been 20 months since the acquisition. So it's still early to call out a success or failure. And that's the end of my presentation.